Being born, having not yet been born. What is not being born, not having been born? O good man! This great nirvana has no aspect of being born. This is not being born, having not been born. What is not being born, having been born? O good man! Death comes in secular truth. This is not being born, having once been born. What is being born, having been born? O good man! All common mortals are those who are born by having been born. Why? Because there is no disruption in being born, and because all leakings defilements follow moment upon moment. This is being born, having been born. The Bodhisattva of the four abodes. Bumis is no being born, having been born. Why? Because he is unmolested in being born. This is a non-being born, having been born. O good man! This is what obtains within the Buddhist teaching. What are, being born, having not yet been born, not yet being born, having not yet been born. Not being born, having been born, and being born, having been born, as said in other teachings. O good man! Let us take the case of a seed. When it is not yet born, the great elements conjoin. Man acts, and it first burgeons out into a bud. This is being born, having not yet been born. What is not being born, having not yet been born? For example, the case of a dead seed and its not meeting with the necessary conditions is that of not born, having not been born. What is not born, having been born? This is as when the seed has shot forth its bud, but there is no growth. This is a case of not born. Having been born? What is being born, having been born? This is as with the growing of the bud. If what is born does not grow, there is no increase. All such aspects of the leakable, i.e. the defiled, are cases of being born, having been born, as stated in the categories of other teachings. Bodhisattva Mahasattva Vaidurya Prabha said to the Buddha, O world-honored one! If it is the case that any being is born in what is leakable, is it eternal or non-eternal? If what is born is eternal, then there cannot be any being born in what is leakable. If being born is non-eternal, what is leakable must be the eternal. O world-honored one! If what is born can well be born by itself, there cannot be any nature of its own. If it can well call forth another life, why can it not call forth the unleakable, i.e. that which is undefiled? O world-honored one! If there is life when not yet born, how can we speak of being born? When there is no life when not yet born, why do we not call space life? The Buddha said, well said, O good man! Born, not having been born is inexpressible. Born, having been born is inexpressible. Not born, having been born is inexpressible. Not born, not having been born is also inexpressible. Being born is also inexpressible. Not being born is also inexpressible. As there are causal relations, we can well explain things. How is it that being born, not having been born, is inexpressible? Not born is born. How can we explain? Why? Because of the fact that there is being born. How is it that what is born is inexpressible? For there is the being born because what is born, for there is not being born because being born is born. Hence, inexpressible. Why is being born is not being born inexpressible? What is born is called born, being born does not come about by itself. Hence, inexpressible. Why is not born, not having been born, inexpressible? Not being born is nirvana. As nirvana is not being born, it is inexpressible. Why? Because one gains it by practicing the way. Why is being born inexpressible? Because being born is emptiness itself. 251. Why is not being born inexpressible? Because there is the possibility of gaining it. Why is it expressible for causal reasons? Because the 10 causal relations can constitute the cause of being born. Hence, it is possible to explain. O good man! Do not get into the deepest depths of the all-void Mahayana. Why not? Because the great mass of people is dull. O good man! In what is created, birth is eternal. As it lives in the non-eternal, birth too is non-eternal. Abiding, too, is eternal, because being born is being born. Abiding is also non-eternal. Difference, i.e. change, too, is eternal. As the law of Dharma is non-eternal, difference is also non-eternal. Breaking up, dissolution, is also eternal. Because it is originally empty, but now exists. Hence, breaking up is also non-eternal. O good man! Being born, abiding, difference, and breaking up are all eternal. As there is extinction moment after moment, one must not say eternal. As this great nirvana is disrupted and dies out, we say non-eternal. O good man! Whatever is defiled already has the nature of being born, when it is not yet born. For this reason, being born comes about. What is undefiled has from the beginning no nature of being born. Hence, being born cannot come about. The original quality of fire calls forth fire when conditions so arise. The eye has the nature of seeing and sees by color, light, and mind. The same applies to the being born of beings. As there is the original nature, it can come about, meeting with the causal relations of karma and by the coming together of the parents, which is life. Then Bodhisattva Vaiduryaprabha and the 84,000 Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, on hearing this sermon, jumped for joy and remained suspended in the sky 7 talas high. With respect and folding their hands, they said to the Buddha, O world-honored one! Having been enlightened by the Tathagata in kindly ways, I now understand what one hears and what one does not hear of great nirvana. Also, the 84,000 bodhisattvas have gained the depths of the being born and the not being born of all things. O world-honored one! I now understand all and have done away with all doubts. But among the bodhisattvas congregated here, there is one called Fearless. He respectfully desires to ask a question. Please deign to answer. Then the world-honored one said to Bodhisattva Fearless, O good man! Ask whatever you desire to ask. I shall now state things clearly to you. Then Bodhisattva Fearless, along with his 64,000 bodhisattvas, stood up from their seats, put their robes in order, prostrate themselves on the ground and said to the Buddha, O world-honored one! How can the people of this world act and gain birth in that immovable world? By what wisdom can the Bodhisattva of the land become the elephant king of all men? How can he possess great virtues and practice the way, and how, with the sharpest of wisdom, can he understand what he hears? Then the world-honored one said in a gatha, one who does not injure the life of beings and strongly upholds the prohibitions, and who learns the Buddha's all-wonderful teaching, gains birth in the land immovable, not stealing the wealth of others, and always giving to all others, and erecting the Katardasa, an abode where monks coming from other places can stay and live. One gains birth in the land immovable, not raping others' women. 252 Not acting unduly towards one's own wife, and giving bedding to those who uphold sila. One gains birth in the land immovable, not seeking profit for one's own or for others' sake, not having fear, and guarding one's own mouth, not telling lies. One will thus be born in the land immovable, not hurting a good teacher of the way, keeping evil kindred at a distance, and using gentle words. One gains birth in the land immovable, Like all bodhisattvas, one segregates oneself from evil speech, and people desire to hear what one says. Such a person will gain birth in the land immovable. Even in a joking way, no untimely word is used, and one always speaks at the apt time. Such a person will gain birth in the land immovable. One is always glad when one sees others gaining benefit and one has no jealous mind. Such a person will gain birth in the land immovable. One causes no worries to others, is ever compassionate, and never enacts evil as a means. Such a person gains birth in the land immovable. If not evil in mind, not saying that there can be no dana, no parents, no past, and no future. And if one does not hold such a view of life, one gains birth in the land immovable. On the wayside of a wide and extensive stretch of land, one digs a good well, plants fruit trees, and makes gardens and always gives food to those who beg. Such a person gains birth in the land immovable. If one offers a fragrant lamp or a flower to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, one gains birth in the land immovable. If out of fear, or for profit, or for blessings, a person writes even a gatha of the Sutra, such a one will gain birth in the land immovable. If, even for profit, a person in a day recites the Sutra, that person will gain birth in that land immovable. If one, for the sake of the unsurpassed way, for a day or night upholds the 8 pure actions, one gains birth in the land immovable. 253 If one does not sit together with those who commit the grave offenses, and reproaches those who slander the Vapulya, one gains birth in the land immovable. If one gives even a piece of fruit to one who is suffering from illness, and looks upon such a person with happy and sweet looks, such a one will gain birth in the land immovable. If one does not defile the priestly robe, guards well the things that belong, or are offered to, the Buddha, and sweeps the ground where the Buddha and the Sangha live, such a person will gain birth in the land immovable. If one makes statues that are big, and erects Buddha's stupas as large, and if one is glad at heart, such a person gains birth in the land immovable. If one, for this sutra, gives oneself or wealth to those who preach, such a one gains birth in the land immovable. If one gives ear to, and copies, the undisclosed store of all Buddhas, upholds and recites it, such a person gains birth in the land immovable. Then Bodhisattva Mahasattva Fearless said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, I now see that by what I do I gain birth in that land. If the Tathagata will condescend to explain what Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous king asks for the sake of all beings, this will benefit and give peace to all such as humans, gods, asuras, gandharvas, garudas, kimnaras, maharagas, and others. Then the world-honored one said to Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous king, well said, well said. O good man, listen well with all your mind. I shall now explain it to you in detail. By causal relations, there can be one not yet arrived, by not arriving, by causal relations, there is one arrived, not arriving, by causal relations, there can be one who has not yet arrived, having already arrived, by causal relations, there can be one who is arrived, having already arrived. How is there one who is not yet arrived, by not arriving? O good man! Now, non-arriving is nirvana. Common mortals are not yet arrived, because of greed, anger, and ignorance, because their bodily and oral actions are impure, because a person receives all impure things, because he commits the 4 grave offenses, because he slanders the Vapulya, because of his being an Ekantaka, because of his enacting the 5 deadly sins. For all these reasons, A person is one who is not yet arrived at non-arriving. O good man! How is one arrived, having not yet arrived? Non-arriving is great nirvana. Why is one arrived? Because one eternally cuts away greed, anger, and ignorance, and all evil actions of body and mouth, because one does not receive impure things, because one does not perform the 4 grave offenses, because one does not slander the Vaipulya Sutras, because one does not become an Ekantaka, and because one does not commit the 5 deadly sins. For these reasons, we say that one arrives, having not yet arrived. Now, the Srotapana arrives after 80,000 kalpas. The Sakritagaman arrives after 60,000 kalpas, the Anagaman after 40,000 kalpas, and the Arhat after 20,000 kalpas, and the Pratyekabuddha after 10,000 kalpas. For this reason, we say that one has arrived, while not yet having arrived. 254 O good man! How is a person arrived, having already arrived? To arrive corresponds to the 25 existences. All beings are always overshadowed by innumerable defilements and bonds, which come and go, never parting, as with a rotating wheel. This is arriving. Sravakas, Pratyekabuddhas and all bodhisattvas are eternally segregated from these. Hence, non-arriving. To succor beings, manifestation is enacted amidst them. Hence, having arrived. O good man! Why do we say having arrived by having arrived? To arrive relates to the 25 existences. Such are the things of defilement of all common mortals, Srotapanas, up to Anagamans. Thus we say having arrived, having arrived. O good man! The same applies to what one has heard and what one has not heard. These are the instances of hearing, not having heard, not hearing, having not heard, not hearing, having heard, and hearing, having heard. What is hearing, not having heard? O good man! Not hearing is great nirvana. Why not hearing? Because of not being created, because it is not a sound, because it cannot be explained. Why hearing? Because one can hear the names, which are the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure. Hence, hearing, not having heard. Then Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous king said to the Buddha, O world honored one! You, the Buddha, say that great nirvana cannot be heard. How is it that the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure cannot be heard? Why not? O world honored one! You say that a person who has made away with defilement is one who has attained nirvana. One not yet cut free from defilement is one who has not yet gained it. Thus the nature of nirvana is what originally was, is not now. If what applies in the world is what originally was, is not now, this is the non-eternal. It is as with a pot, which is what originally was, but is not now, and what once was which now returns to not is, and which is the non-eternal. If nirvana is thus, how could we speak of the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure? Also, next, O world-honored one! What can arise by adorning is non-eternal. If nirvana is such, it must be non-eternal. What are the causal relatons? The 37 elements assisting towards enlightenment, the 6 paramithas, the 4 limitless minds, physiognomical forecasting, the anapana, the 6 thinkings all crush the 6 great elements. All these items constitute the cause and condition to call forth nirvana. Hence, non-eternal. Also, next, O world-honored one! Whatever is non-eternal. If nirvana is, nirvana must be non-eternal. This is what obtains in the agamas, in which you said that the Sravaka, Pratyekabuddha, and the all-Buddha world-honored one all have nirvana. Hence, non-eternal. Also, next, O world-honored one. Whatever is visible is non-eternal. This is as when the Buddha said before that one who can see nirvana can well cut away defilement. Also, next, O world-honored one. For example, this is like space, which does not molest hinder any beings. So, we say eternal. If nirvana is eternal, why are there those who gain and who do not gain? If nirvana is thus and is partial with beings, how can we call it eternal? O world honored one. For example, 100 people have an enemy. If this enemy is made away with, all have peace. If nirvana is impartial, this must mean that if one gains it, many must gain it. If one person cuts off bondage, many persons must be able to cut off bondage. If things are not thus, how can there be the eternal? For example, a man respects, makes offerings to, honors and praises the king, prince, his parents, teachers, and elders, and there is benefit. This is not eternal. The same is the case. Why? You, the Buddha, said in the Agama to Ananda, if one truly respects nirvana, one cuts off bondage and perfects immeasurable bliss. So, we do not say eternal. O world-honored one. If there are such as the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure, we cannot call nirvana eternal. If there are no such, how can we explain the matter? Then the world-honored one spoke to Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous king, the true quality of nirvana is not that of something that originally was not but now is. If nirvana were what originally was not but now is, it could not be anything unleakable, undefiled, and eternal. The nature and characteristics of the phenomenal Buddha and the noumenal Buddha are eternal and all-abiding. As defilements spread over beings, they cannot see nirvana. And they say that is does not exist. As the Bodhisattva makes effort and cultivates his mind with sila, meditation, and wisdom, and excises defilement, he sees it. Know that nirvana is what is. 255 Eternal. It is not what originally was not but now is. So, we say eternal. O good man! There is a dark room, in which there is a well where there are 7 different treasures. Though one knows that they are there, since it is dark, one cannot see them. One who is wise knows the means. He lights a big lamp, carries this into the room, illuminates the place, and sees all. Now, this person does not think that there were originally no water and 7 treasures, but he thinks that they were there. It is the same with nirvana. It is not that it originally was not but happens to come about now. Due to the darkness of defilement, beings do not see it. The great wisdom, the Tathagata, puts into effect the best expedients, lights the lamp of wisdom, and enables all bodhisattvas to see the eternal, bliss, the self, and the pure of nirvana. Thus the wise must not say that nirvana is what originally was not, but now is. O good man! You say that nirvana is made by adornment and that it must be non-eternal. But this is not so. Why not? O good man! The body of nirvana is not one that is born, that departs, that is actual, or that is false. It is not one worked out bodied forth. It is not defiled, not what is created. It is not hearing, nor anything visible, not something fallen, it is no death. It is not a different phase of phenomena, nor is it of the same form. It is no going and no returning. It is no past, no future, and no present. It is not one, not many, not long, not short, not round, not square, not pointed, not bent. It is no phenomenon, no mental image, no name, no matter, no cause, no result, no self, and not what one possesses. For this reason, nirvana is eternal and enduring, and does not change. Because of this, one practices good for innumerable asamkhyas of kalpas, one adorns one's own self, and then one can see. O good man! As an example, there is an underground water of 8 tastes, and yet no one can get at it. One who is wise devises a means, digs, and gets to it. The case is the same with nirvana. For example, a blind person cannot see the sun or moon. But when a good doctor effects a cure, he can then see. And it is not that the sun and moon have come about but now. It is the same with nirvana. It has already existed by itself, and it is not that it is something that happens to come into existence now. O good man! A man commits a crime and is chained up in a prison house. After a long time, he is released. Coming back home, he now sees his parents, brothers, wife, children, and relatives. The case is the same with nirvana. O good man! You say that nirvana is non-eternal due to causal relations. But this is not so. Why not? O good man! There are 5 kinds of cause. What are the 5? They are, 1. Cause of birth, 2. Cause of harmonization, 3. Cause of being as it is, 4. Cause of growth, and 5. Cause of far out. Indirect. What is the cause of birth? It is based on karma, defilements, etc., and all such seeds of the external category as plants and grass. These are the causes of birth. What is the cause of harmonization? This is none other than the harmonization between good and the good mind, non-good and the non-good mind, indefinable avyakrita, and the indefinable mind. This is the cause that can be talked of as harmonization. What is the cause of being as it is? Due to the pillars, the roof does not fall down. The mountains, rivers, and trees rest on the great earth. And they can be as they are and stand. Man possesses, within, the 4 great elements, an innumerable and unending number of defilements. And beings continue to exist. This is the cause of being as it is. What is the cause of growth? Clothes, food, and drink enable beings to grow. The seed of the external category is not burned out or eaten up by birds. Hence, growth. The Sramanas and Brahmins grow by depending upon the honored ones upadhyaya, the good teachers of the way, etc. Or it is like a child that grows up by depending upon its parents. This is the cause of growth. What is the cause that is far out? For example, through charms, no demons or poison can cause 1 harm. Depending and relying on kings, there can be no robbers. Budding rests upon earth, water, fire, and wind. This is as when churning and a person become the far out distant ultimate cause of butter, or bright color the far off cause of consciousness, or dead bodies of 256 parents the far off cause of beings. Such as the seasons, too, become far off causes. O good man! The body of nirvana is not one that comes about from these 5 causes. How could one say that it arises from a cause of the non-eternal? Also, next, O good man! There are 2 causes. One is the cause of doing and the other that of enlightening. It is as with the rope of the potter's wheel. This is the cause of doing. A lamp illuminates things in the darkness. This is the cause of enlightening. O good man! Great nirvana does not come about from the cause of doing. It only follows the cause of enlightening. By the cause of enlightening is meant such as the 37 elements of the way assisting to enlightenment, and the 6 paramithas. These constitute the cause of enlightening. O good man! Dana generous giving is the cause of nirvana, but not the cause of great nirvana. Danaparamita perfected giving is the cause of great nirvana. The 37 elements can be the cause of nirvana, but not of great nirvana. The innumerable asamkhyas of assisting elements can be the cause of great nirvana. Then, Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous king said to the Buddha, O world honored one, in what way can Dana not be Danaparamita, and in what way can Dana be Danaparamita? And also, in what way can Prajna wisdom not be Prajnaparamita, and in what way can it be so called? In what sense do we speak of nirvana and of great nirvana? The Buddha said, O good man, when the Bodhisattva Mahasattva practices the Vaipulya Mahaparinirvana, he does not hear or see Dana, nor does he hear or see Danaparamita. Nor does he hear or see Prajna, nor does he hear or see Prajnaparamita. Nor does he hear or see nirvana. Nor does he hear or see great nirvana. When the Bodhisattva Mahasattva practices great nirvana, he knows and sees the universe, and he realizes that the real state is all void, and that there is nothing that one possesses, and that there is nothing that has any mode of harmonization or perception. And what he gains is such a phase state of realization as the unleakable, i.e., undefiled, non-doing, the phantomic, the burning flame of the hot season, and the all-empty phase of a Gandharvan castle. Then the Bodhisattva sees such a phase and has no greed, malevolence and ignorance. He does not hear or see. This is what we mean when we say that the Bodhisattva Mahasattva himself knows that this is Dana, this Danaparamita, this Prajna, this Prajnaparamita, this Nirvana, this great Nirvana. O good man! What is Dana, and what is not Danaparamita? One sees one who begs, and one gives. This is giving, but not paramita. When there is none that begs, but one opens up one's heart and gives of one's own accord, this is Danaparamita. One gives according to the time. This is giving, but not paramita. One practices eternal giving, this is Danaparamita. One gives to others and later regrets it. This is giving, but not paramita. One gives and does not regret it. This is Danaparamita. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva gains 4 fears in things. To the king, robber, water, and fire, he is pleased to give. This is Danaparamita. If one gives, expecting a return, this is giving, but not Danaparamita. If one gives, but does not look for any recompense, that is Danaparamita. 1 gives when one fears, one gives for fame and profit, for a family legacy, for satisfying the 5 desires in heaven, for pride, for the pride of being superior to others, for knowledge, for recompense in the life to come, all of which is like doing trade. O good man! This is like a person who plants trees to gain cool shade and flowers, fruit and wood. If one practices such giving, this is giving, but not any paramita. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva who practices great nirvana does not see giver, recipient, or thing given, nor time given, nor any field of blessings nor non-field of blessings, nor any cause, condition, result, doer, receiver, nor many nor less in number, nor purity nor non-purity. He does not belittle the recipient, himself, or the thing given. He does not care about who sees or who does not see. He makes no distinction between himself and others. He only practices dana for the sake of the eternal dharma of the Vaipulya Mahaparinirvana. He gives to benefit all beings. He gives to cut off the defilements of all beings. He practices dana without seeing giver, recipient, or thing given. O good man! As an example, a man falls into the great sea, but as he holds on to a dead body. 257 he is indeed able to be saved. When the Bodhisattva Mahasattva practices the way of great nirvana and performs dana, things are as in the case of the dead body. O good man! There is a man, for example, who is shut up in prison. The gate is strongly guarded, but there is a hole in the privy. Through this, he gains an unhindered place, i.e. his freedom. So does it obtain with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva as he practices great nirvana and performs giving. O good man! This is, for example, like unto a nobleman who has fear, feels unsafe, and has no one upon whom to rely, and who asks for help from the hand of a Kandala. So does it stand with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva when he practices great nirvana. O good man! This is like the situation of a sick person, who, in order to eliminate the pain of illness, partakes of what is unclean. So do things stand with the Bodhisattva when he practices great nirvana and performs giving. O good man! If the Brahmins come across a rise in the price of cereals, they will partake of dog's meat, for the sake of their life. It is the same with the Bodhisattva when he practices great nirvana and performs giving. O good man! Nothing like this relative to great nirvana has been heard for innumerable kalpas past, and yet we hear it. As for sila, silaparamita, prajna, and prajnaparamita, things are as stated in the Avatamsaka Sutra. O good man! How does a Bodhisattva Mahasattva practice the way of great nirvana and hear what has not been heard? What the 12 types of sutra state is profound in meaning, unheard since of old. Now, solely in this sutra, we fully hear well. We heard about this before. But what was heard was the name only. Only in this great Nirvana Sutra do we hear about the meaning. Sravakas and Pratyekabuddhas only hear the names of the 12 types of sutra, but not about the meaning. Now, in this sutra, we hear fully. This is why we speak of hearing what has not been heard before. O good man! In the sutras of the Sravakas and Pratyekabuddhas, we did not hear that the Buddha was the eternal, bliss, the self, and the pure, and that there is no extinction, that there is no difference between the three jewels and the Buddha nature, and that the Buddha nature is even in those who have performed the 4 grave offenses, the slanderers of the Vaipulya, and those who have committed the 5 deadly sins. But now, in this sutra, we hear this. This is what we call hearing what has never been heard before. Chapter 28, Bodhisattva Highly Virtuous King 2. Bodhisattva Mahasattva All-Shining Highly Virtuous King said to the Buddha, if those who have performed the grave offenses, those who have slandered the Vaipulya Sutras, those who have committed the 5 deadly sins, and the Ekantaka all have the Buddha nature, why then do they fall into hell? O world-honored one! If they have the Buddha nature, why do we say that there is no eternal, bliss, self, and purity with them? O world-honored one! If one who has cut off the root of good is an Ekantaka, why is it that, when cutting off the root of good, the root of the Buddha nature is not cut off? If the Buddha nature is cut off, how can we talk of the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure? If there is no such cutting off, why do we speak of the Ekantaka? O world-honored one! Those who have committed the 4 grave offenses are called persons not fixed. Those slanderers of the Vaipulya Sutras, those who have committed the 5 deadly sins, and the Ekantaka are termed those who are not fixed. If such as these are to become fixed, how can they attain unsurpassed enlightenment? Even those who have attained such stages as Srotapanna up to Pratyekabuddha are likewise called persons not fixed. Even if those who are at the stages of Srotapanna up to Pratyekabuddha can indeed become fixed, they can never attain unsurpassed enlightenment. O world-honored one! If those persons who have committed the four grave offenses are those not fixed, those of the stages of Srotapanna up to Pratyekabuddha are also those not fixed. If they are to be called non-fixed, the all-Buddha Tathagata must also be non-fixed. If the Buddha is one not fixed, the body and nature of Nirvana, too, must be called not fixed. Even all laws dharmas, too, must be called not fixed. Why not fixed? When the Ekantaka makes away with the Ekantaka within, he can attain 258 Bodhi enlightenment. The same must be the case with all Buddhas. Even though entering Nirvana, they might come back and not enter Nirvana. If things proceed thus, we can say that the nature of Nirvana is not fixed. Not being fixed, there can never be the eternal bliss, self, and the pure. How can we say that the Ekantaka and others can reach Nirvana? Then the world-honored one said to Bodhisattva Mahasattva all-shining highly virtuous King, well said, well said. To benefit and give peace to innumerable beings, to pity all the world, to augment the practice of the way of all bodhisattvas who aspire to Bodhi, you put these questions. O good man! You have, in your past, already drawn near to an innumerable number of all Buddhas and have cultivated, at the places of all Buddhas, all good deeds. You have long accomplished the virtue of Bodhi, subdued and driven away all Maras. You have already taught innumerable beings and enabled them to attain unsurpassed Bodhi. You have for a long time fathomed the very deep and closely guarded store of Dharma of the All-Buddha Tathagata, and you have put such questions to all the Buddha Tathagatas of the past as many as the sands of innumerable and boundless Ganges. I have never until now met any human, god, Sramana, Brahmin, Mara, or Brahma who has put such questions to the Tathagata. Now, listen carefully. Listen carefully. I shall now explain clearly. O good man! The Ekantaka is not fixed. If fixed, he could not gain unsurpassed enlightenment. As he is not yet fixed, he can indeed gain it. You say that unless he has cut off the Buddha nature, how could an Ekantaka cut off the root of all good? O good man! There are two kinds of root of good. One is internal, and the other external. The Buddha nature is neither internal nor external. Because of this, there is no cutting off of the Buddha nature. Also, there are two kinds. One is defiled, and the other undefiled. The Buddha nature is neither defiled nor non-defiled. Because of this, there is no cutting off. Also, there are two kinds. One is eternal, and the other is non-eternal. The Buddha nature is neither eternal nor non-eternal. Because of this, there is no cutting off. If cut, it will come back again and be gained again. If it comes back and cannot be gained, this is non-cutting. If what is gained is cut off, this is an Ekantaka. A person who performs the four grave offenses is also one not fixed. If fixed, one who has performed the four grave offenses could not gain unsurpassed Bodhi. One who slanders the Vaipulya is also not fixed. If fixed, the slanderer could not attain unsurpassed Bodhi. One who has committed the 5 deadly sins is also not fixed. If fixed, such a one would not be able to attain unsurpassed Bodhi. Matter and the characteristics of matter, too, are both not fixed. The characteristics of smell, taste, touch, those of birth, up to those of ignorance, those of the 5 skandhas, the 12 spheres and 18 realms of sensory experience, those of the 25 existences. The 4 lives, even down to all existences, are not fixed either. O good man! For example, a conjurer can present to the eyes of the people the 4 military forces of infantry, chariots, elephants, and horses, he conjures up all kinds of garlands, body adornments, castle towns, villages, mountains, forests, trees, springs, ponds, rivers, and wells. Of the onlookers, the little children who have not much intellect will think that all these are real, but those of intelligence will know that all is sheer untrue illusory allure, which cheats a person's eyes. O good man! It is the same with all common mortals up to Sravakas and Pratyekabuddhas, who think that there are fixed states in all things. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do not see any fixed state in anything. O good man! For example, it is as with children who, in the midsummer months, see a mirage of hot times and say that it is water, whereas one with discernment will never entertain in this mirage any thought of water, knowing that this is nothing but a mirage that cheats men's eyes, and that it is not water. The same is the case with all beings, Sravakas and Pratyekabuddhas, who see all things and say that they are all real. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do not see any fixed state in anything. O good man! For example, in the mountain valleys, the human voice generates an echo. A child hears this and says this is an actual voice, whereas one with intelligence will say that there is nothing real therein, what there is merely the characteristics of a voice which cheats the ear consciousness. O good man! It is the same with all beings, Sravakas, and Pratyekabuddhas, who see fixed characteristics in all things, whereas all Bodhisattvas and others 259 think that all things have no fixed states and that all are non-eternal, void, and all equal and have no birth or death. Hence, the Bodhisattva sees that all things are non-eternal. O good man! There are also fixed states. How fixed? These are the eternal, bliss, the self, and the pure. Where are they? There where there is nirvana. O good man! The fruit of attainment of the Srotapanna, too, is not one that is fixed. Being not fixed, only after 80,000 kalpas can he attain unsurpassed bodhi. The state of Sakritagaman is not fixed either. Not being fixed, such a person attains unsurpassed bodhi after 60,000 kalpas. That of Anagaman is also not fixed. Not being fixed, such a one attains unsurpassed bodhi after 60,000 kalpas. That of the Arhat, too, is the same. Not being fixed, he gains the unsurpassed bodhi mind after 20,000 kalpas. It is the same with the fruition of the Pratyekabuddha. Not being fixed, he attains the unsurpassed bodhi mind only after 10,000 kalpas. O good man! The Tathagata now reclines at Kusinagara between the twin sal trees, in the posture of a lion, and shows himself as entering nirvana, and all those disciples of his who have not yet attained arhatship and all malas are smitten with great apprehension and sorrow. Also, Devas, humans, Asuras, Gandharvas, Garudas, Kimnaras, Mahoragas, and others make great offerings. All people are now ready to burn him with 1,000 tans, 1 tan either 16, 20, or 60 feet of finely woven woolen cloth, in which to wrap his body and lay him in a coffin of 7 gems, embalmed with fragrant oil and covered over with all kinds of fragrant wood. Only 2 tans cannot be burnt off. One is that which is closest to the body, and the other is what is outermost. Among all the people, his remains are to be divided into 8 parts. All his Sravakas say that the Tathagata now enters nirvana. Know that the Tathagata definitely does not enter nirvana. Why not? Because the Tathagata is eternal, and there is no change that comes about with him. Hence, the Tathagata's nirvana is also not fixed. O good man! Know that the Tathagata, too, is not fixed. The Tathagata is no deva. Why not? There are 4 heavens. Namely, 1. Worldly heaven, 2. Sentience heaven, 3. Purity heaven, and 4. Meaning heaven. The worldly heaven is as in the case of the king. The sentience heaven is like that of the 4 guardians of the earth up to thoughtlessness non-thoughtlessness heaven. Purity heaven is 4 those from Srotapana up to Pratyekabuddha. The heaven of meaning is for the Bodhisattva. Mahasattvas of the stage of the 10 abodes Bhumis. Why do we call the Bodhisattva of the 10 abodes the heaven of meaning? Because he well grasps the meaning of all things. What do we mean by meaning? Meaning here Badokan, seeing that all things are void. O good man! The Tathagata is no king, nor of the class of the 4 guardians of the earth, nor of that of thoughtlessness non-thoughtlessness heaven, nor of the class of Srotapana. Pratyekabuddha, or the Bodhisattva of the stage of the 10 abodes. Thus the Tathagata is no Deva. But all beings call the Tathagata the Deva of Devas. Hence, the Tathagata is no Deva, no non-Deva, no human, no non-human, no demon, no non-demon, no hell-dweller, animal or hungry ghost, nor is he no hell-dweller, animal, or hungry ghost. He is no being, he is no dharma, and not no dharma. He is not matter-rupa and not non-matter. He is not tall, not non-tall, not short, not non-short. He is non-phenomenal, not non-phenomenal, not mind, not non-mind. He is not anything defiled, nor is he non-defiled. He is uncreated, and not uncreated. He is non-eternal. Not non-eternal, no phantom, not no phantom. He is no name and is not no name, not fixed, and not non-fixed. He is not is, nor is not a sermon, nor a non-sermon. He is no Tathagata, and not no Tathagata. Hence, the Tathagata is not one fixed. O good man! Why do we not call the Tathagata worldly Deva? The worldly Deva is the king. The Tathagata has for innumerable kalpas abandoned a kingly state. So he is no king. We say that he is not a non-king. He was born in the royal house of Kapilavastu. So, he is not a non-king. He is no sentient heaven Deva. For he has long since renounced any form of existence. So, he is no sentient heaven Deva. He is not no sentient heaven Deva. Why not? He ascended to Tushita heaven and came down to Jambudvipa. So the Tathagata is not no sentient heaven Deva. He is no purity Deva. Why not? Because the Tathagata is no Srotapana up to Pratyekabuddha. The Tathagata is not no purity Deva. Why not? Because he is not one defiled by the 8 things of the world, i.e. profiting, weakening, breaking up, honor, praising, slandering, pain, and 260. Pleasure, and is like the lotus, which is not tainted by muddy water. Hence, the Tathagata is not no purity Deva. Also, he is no Deva of meaning. Why not? Because the Tathagata is no Bodhisattva of the grade of the 10 abodes. For this reason, the Tathagata is no Deva of meaning. Nor is he not a Deva of meaning. Why not? Because the Tathagata always practices the meanings of the 18 Shunyatas emptinesses. Hence, the Tathagata is not no Deva of meaning. The Tathagata is not a human. Why not? Because he has been far removed from existence as a human for innumerable kalpas. Hence, he is no human. He is no non-human. Why not? Because he was born in Kapilavastu. The Tathagata is no devil. Why not? Because he does not cause any harm to any being. Because of this, he is no devil. Also, he is not no devil. Why not? For he teaches beings, transformed as a devil. The Tathagata is also no hell-dweller, animal, or hungry ghost. Why not? Because the Tathagata has long been segregated from all evil deeds. Hence, he is no hell-dweller, animal, or hungry ghost. Also, he is not no hell-dweller, animal, or hungry ghost. Why not? Because the Tathagata also transforms himself into the three unfortunate realms and saves beings. Hence, he is not no hell-dweller, animal, or hungry ghost. Also, he is not of beings. Why not? Because he has long since abandoned the nature of beings. Thus he is not of the beings. Nor is he a non-being. Why not? For, at times, he speaks of i.e. assumes the characteristics of a being. Hence, the Tathagata is not a non-being. The Tathagata is not any Dharma. Why not? Because all existences have different characteristics. It is not thus with the Tathagata. He has one characteristic. Hence, he is no Dharma and no non-Dharma. Why not? Because the Tathagata is the Dharma world. Hence, he is not any non-Dharma. The Tathagata is not a body. Why not? Even the 10 categories of the body, i.e. the 5 sense organs and the 5 sense fields, cannot take him in, encompass him. That is why he is not a body. And he is not no body. Why not? Because he has on his body the 32 signs of perfection and the 80 minor marks of excellence. Hence, he is not no body. The Tathagata is not tall. Why not? Because he stands above all kinds of form. Hence, he is not what is tall. Nor is he not tall. Why not? Because the world cannot see such a characteristic as the knot of hair on his head. For this reason, he is not tall. The Tathagata is not what is short. Why not? He is long segregated from the bond of arrogance. Hence, he is not what is short. Also, he is not short. Why not? Because he manifested before the rich man, Kokila, a body of 3 feet, i.e. the body of a child said to have been projected so as to teach Kokila. Hence, he is not short. The Tathagata is not of the phenomenal. Because he is long segregated from any phenomenal aspect. Hence, not phenomenal. Also, he is not non-phenomenal. Why not? Because he thoroughly knows all phenomena. Hence, he is not non-phenomenal. Why not? Because he is like space. Hence, no mind. Also, he is not no mind. Why not? Because he has the 10 mental powers Dashabala. And also because he can thoroughly fathom what is in the mind of any being. Hence, he is not no mind. The Tathagata is not one created. Why not? Because of the eternal bliss, the self, and the pure. For this reason, he is not one who has been created. Also, he is not one not created. Why not? Because he manifests himself as coming, going, sitting, lying, and in nirvana. Hence, he is not created. The Tathagata is not eternal. Why not? Because he has parts in body, a physical body and its parts. Hence, non-eternal. Why is he non-eternal? Because he has intellect. What is eternal does not have intellect, as in the case of space. The Tathagata has intellect. So, he is not eternal. How is he not eternal? Because he has language and speaks. What is eternal has no language, it is like space. The Tathagata has language. Hence, non-eternal. He has a family name. So he is non-eternal. What possesses no family name is the eternal. Space is eternal, as it has no family name. The Tathagata has the family name of Gautama. Hence, he is not eternal. As he has parents, he is not eternal. That without parents is eternal. Space is eternal. So it has no parents. The Buddha has parents. Hence, non-eternal. He has 4 deportments. Postures, i.e. lying, sitting, standing, walking. Hence, non-eternal. What has no 4 deportments is eternal. Space is eternal, as it has no 4 deportments. The Buddha has 4 deportments. Hence, non-eternal. What is eternal has no confined direction or place to dwell. Space is eternal, so it has no direction or place to tell of. The Tathagata appeared in East India, and lived in Sravasti and Rajagriha. Hence, he is non-eternal. For this reason, the Tathagata is 261 not eternal. Also, he is not non-eternal. Why not? Because he has eternally cut off life. What has life is non-eternal, what has no life is eternal. The Tathagata has no life. Hence, eternal. What is eternal has no family name, what has a family name is non-eternal. The Tathagata has no life and no family name. With no life and family name, he is eternal. What is eternal fills all places. As in the case of space, which has no place where it does not exist. The same is the case with the Tathagata. He exists everywhere. Hence, he is eternal. What is non-eternal calls this is and the other not is. The case of the Tathagata is not so. We cannot speak here of is and thereof. Not is. Hence, eternal. With the non-eternal, things at times obtain as is and at times as not is. With what applies to the Tathagata, there is no saying, at times, of not is. Hence, eternal. What is eternal has no name and no form. Since space is eternal, it has no name or form. The Tathagata, too, is nameless and formless. Hence, eternal. What is eternal has no cause and no result. As space is eternal, it has no cause and no result. The Tathagata, too, has no cause and no result. Hence, eternal. What is eternal is not related to the 3 times. It is the same with the Tathagata. He has nothing to do with the 3 times. Hence, eternal. The Tathagata is no phantom. Why not? He is eternally segregated from any thought of deceiving. Hence, he is no phantom. Also, he is not a non-phantom. He at times splits up one body into innumerable bodies, and merges innumerable bodies into one. He passes through mountain walls and nothing can obstruct him. He walks upon water as if on solid ground. He goes down into the ground as though into water, and he moves through the air as if on the ground. His body emits fire like a great fireball. Cloud and thunder shake, and fearful is the sound. At times, he becomes like a castle town, a village, a house, a mountain, a river or a tree. At other times he manifests himself in a big body, or at times in one small. He becomes a male, a female, a male or female child. Hence, the Tathagata is also not a non-phantom. The Tathagata is not one fixed. Why not? Because he manifests himself here at Kusinagara between the twin sal trees as about to enter Nirvana. Hence, he is not fixed. Also, he is not non-fixed. Why not? Because he is the eternal bliss, the self, and the pure. For this reason, the Tathagata is also not non-fixed. The Tathagata is not one who leaks out defilement. Why not? Because he is segregated from the three defilements. The three defilements are, 1. Defilements of the comadata realm of desire. Except for ignorance, which are the defilements of desire. 2. Defilements of the Rupadhatu and Arupadhatu realm of form, and realm of formlessness, excepting ignorance, which are called is defilements. 3. Ignorance of the three worlds, which is the defilement of ignorance. The Tathagata is eternally segregated from these. Hence, he leaks out no defilement. Also, next, all beings do not see the defilement of is. Why do all beings not see the is defilement? All beings have doubts regarding things to come in the future, namely, will they have a body or not in the future? Was there a body or not in the past? Do they have a body or not in the present life? If there is the self, is it a form or non-form? Is it form non-form? Is it non-form and not non-form? Is it perception or non-perception, or perception and non-perception? Is it non-perception and non-non-perception? Does this body belong to any other person or does it not? Is it that which belongs to others or that which does not belong to others, or is it that which does not belong to others, or is it one that does not belong to others? Is it one with life, but not a carnal body? Is it one that is a carnal body, but without life? Is it one that has a carnal body and life? Is it one that has no body and no life? Is it a carnal body, life, and one that is eternal? Or is it one that is non-eternal? Is it non-eternal, or eternal and non-eternal? Is it one that is non-eternal and not non-eternal? Are the body and life the works of Isvara? Or are they the work of time? Are they a work without cause? Are they the work of the Prakriti primordial matter, or world nature? Are they the work of motes? Are they the work of law or non-law? Are they the work of man? Are they the work of illusion? Are they the work of father and mother? Does it the self live in one's own mind? Or does it dwell in the eye? Or does it fill the whole body? Where does it come from and where does it go to? Who is it indeed that is born and who is it who dies? Was one in the past a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a Vaishya, or a Sudra? What caste will one gain in the future? Was my body in the past that of a male, female, or an animal? Do I commit a sin if I take life, or is it nothing of the kind? Is it a sin if I drink alcohol, or is it nothing of the kind? Is it the 262 case that it karma is one's own making, or is it what is done by others? Do I receive karmic results, or do I contract them in my carnal self? Such doubts and innumerable illusions spread over beings' minds. From these doubting views there come the six minds, which think, 1. Self definitely exists, 2. Self definitely does not exist, 3. Temporary self is the true self, 4. No self exists other than the temporary self, 5. The true self exists other than the temporary self, 6. The self which is the skandhas does, receives, and knows. All of these are twisted views of life. The Tathagata has long since extracted the innumerable roots of views and defilements. Hence, he leaks out no defilement. O good man! The Bodhisattva Mahasattva who practices the holy actions of great nirvana is able eternally to make away with all such defilements. The all Buddha Tathagata always practices holy actions. Hence, no defilements exist with him. O good man! Common mortals cannot easily suppress the 5 sense organs. So there are the 3 defilements, by which they are drawn to evil and go to unwelcome places. O good man! A. Bad horse, for example, twisted in its nature, carries a person on its back to unsafe places. It is the same with the man who does not have good control of his five sense organs and who departs from the good way to nirvana and gains birth in all kinds of unfortunate realms. For example, an evil-minded elephant not yet broken in will not carry the rider to where he desires to go, and will leave the castle town and seek the wilderness. It is the same with the person who does not have good control over the five sense organs. This carries him away from the castle town of nirvana into the great stretch of wasteland of birth and death. O good man, this is as in the case of a minister of twisted mind who makes the king do evil. It is the same with the minister of twisted mind of the five sense organs. He always teaches people to do innumerable evil things. O good man, this is similar to a bad son, who, if not taught by teachers, elders, and parents, will always commit evil deeds. So do things obtain with one who does not have control over the five sense organs. Such a person does not give ear to the good injunctions of teachers and elders, and there is no end of evil he will not do. O good man, common mortals do not have control over their five sense organs and always suffer from the robbers of hell, animals, and hungry ghosts. Also, the manifold harm of the malignant robbers extends even to good people. O good man, as common mortals do not have control over the five sense organs, the storms of the five dusts, i.e. of the five sense fields, overtake them. For example, if pasture cows are not well guarded, they will ravage the seedlings and plants that have been cultivated. Common mortals do not have control over their five desires and suffer variously. O good man, when the Bodhisattva Mahasattva practices great nirvana and holy actions, he always guards his five sense organs well. He fears greed, anger, ignorance, arrogance and jealousy, because he has to arrive at all good dharmas. O good man, one who guards well the five sense organs guards well the mind. One who guards well the mind guards well the five sense organs. For example, when men guard the king, the land is well protected. One who protects the land well guards the king. It is the same with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. On hearing this great Nirvana Sutra, one gains wisdom. Through wisdom, one gains the exclusive mind. If the five sense organs are loose set, the mind ceases to act. Why? Because of the wisdom of mindfulness. O good man, this is as in the case of the pasture keeper who checks his cows from going east and west and damaging the crops. It is the same with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Working up mindfulness wisdom, he guards the five sense organs, so that they will not get out of control. His mindfulness wisdom sees no form of self, what comes out of self, beings, or what they enjoy. He sees all things as when he sees Dharmata essence of reality, and what he sees is all like the earth, stones, tiles, and gravel. For example, a house comes about by various combinations of elements and not by any fixed nature of its own. He sees that all beings are no other than combinations of the four great elements and the five skandhas, and that they have no fixed nature. As there is no fixed nature, the Bodhisattva does not greedily cling. All common mortals think that they exist, so they have the worry of defilement. When the Bodhisattva Mahasattva practices great nirvana and has mindfulness wisdom, he does not cling to any being. Also, next, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, practicing the great nirvana sutra, does not cling to any being or the diverse external forms of things. O good man. 4. 263 Example, a painter uses various colors and paints pictures of men, women, cows, horses, etc. Common mortals devoid of intelligence, see these and take them to be real men, women, etc. But the painter knows that they are not men and women. It is the same with the Bodhisattva. Mahasattva. In the various aspects of things, he sees only the aspect, but never many forms of beings, right to the end. Because he has mindfulness wisdom. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, as he practices great nirvana, might see a beautiful woman. But, to the end, he does not gain a clinging thought. Why not? Since he thoroughly looks into what meets his eye. O good man! The Bodhisattva Mahasattva knows that there resides no pleasure in the five desires and that joy never endures there. This is like a dog that bites at a dead bone, like a man holding fire against the wind, a cask of venomous serpents gained in a dream, fruit trees on the wayside which easily get struck by many people, a piece of meat for which many birds compete, foam on water, the warp of a woven piece of cloth which has now come to an end, a prisoner having to go to a prison citadel, or whatever is temporary and cannot endure long. Thus, desires are meditated upon and it is seen that there is much that is wrong. Also, next, the Bodhisattva meditates on all beings connected with color, smell, taste and touch. There has always been worry for innumerable kalpas. The size of the bodies and bones, which each being heaps up during a kalpa, is as great as Vipula hill in Rajagriha. The milk taken is as much as the water of the four seas. And the blood shed is much more than this. The tears shed by parents, brothers, wife, children, and relatives at the moment of death is more than the waters of the four oceans. We could cut all the plants of the earth and make counting sticks of an inch long and count the number of parents, and yet we would not be able to reach the end of counting. It is not possible fully to count the sorrows experienced in the realms of hell, animals, and hungry ghosts. We could cut the great earth into pieces as small as dates. Yet birth and death proceed unendingly and cannot be counted. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva meditates deeply on the unending sorrows which all beings experience in life because of desires. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva does not lose his mindfulness wisdom, because of the sorrows of birth and death. O good man! As an example, people fill an area of 25 square lis 1,894 feet. The king commands a minister, carry a pot full of oil, go through the crowd, but do not let a drop fall to the ground. If a drop does fall, you will forfeit your life. Also, a man follows behind with an unsheathed sword, to frighten him. The minister, strictly observing the royal injunction, passes through the great crowd of people. When he sees the objects of the five desires, he always says to himself, if I am indolent and cleave to wrong desires, I shall certainly drop what I am holding in my hands and lose my life. Due to this fear, the man does not spill even a single drop of oil. It is the same with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Amidst birth and death, he does not lose his mindfulness wisdom. Not losing this, his mind does not greedily adhere to the five desires, even when he sees them. He sees a pure color, but no color appears there. What he sees is a scene of suffering. This extends down to consciousness. He does not see birth, extinction, or cause. What he sees is a phase in the process of elements conjoining. The five sense organs of the Bodhisattva are pure. As his sense organs are pure, those sense organs are fully protected. The sense organs of common mortals are not pure. So upholding of moral purity cannot proceed well. Therefore, we say that the root secretes defilement. With the Bodhisattva, such secretions are eternally done away with. So we speak of non-secretion. With the Tathagata, this secretion of defilement has been eternally excised. Hence, non-secretion. Also, next, O good man, there is a segregation of secretion. The Bodhisattva wishes to substantiate the Buddha realm of unsurpassed Amrita immortality and abandons evil secretions. How does he segregate them? He thoroughly practices the great Nirvana Sutra, writes, copies, upholds, recites, and expounds it, and thinks over its meaning. This is segregation. Why? O good man, I have not encountered a case of the 12 types of sutra, as with this Vaipulia Great Nirvana Sutra, where one so thoroughly segregates oneself from evil secretions. O good man. As an illustration, a learned teacher teaches his disciples. One amongst them learns well what is taught, and is not evil in mind. It is the same with the Bodhisattva who practices the all-wonderful Sutra of Great Nirvana and who has no evil in his mind. O good man. For example, there is a 264 wonderful charm. Once employed, it renders one immune to poison for 20 years, and a serpent cannot sting one. If one recites the charm, one will have no occasion to suffer from it, i.e. any poison for the duration of one's life. It is the same with this great Nirvana Sutra. If one once gives ear to it, for 7 kalpas to come one will not fall into the unfortunate realms. If one copies, recites, expounds it, and meditates on its meaning, one will unfailingly attain unsurpassed enlightenment. This is like the case of a Chakravartin who arrives at Amrita immortality when he sees the pure state of the Buddha nature. O good man. There are such innumerable virtues in this great nirvana. O good man. Anyone who copies, recites, expounds, and explains it to others, and meditates on the meaning is, you should know, my true disciple. And he follows my way. Well, this is what I see and what I pray for. Such a person clearly knows that I do not enter nirvana. Thus, in all places where such a person lives, such as a castle town, village, mountain, forest, field, house, farmhouse, or palace, I shall always find myself and I shall not move. I always receive offerings from such a person. I shall become a bhiksu, bhiksunai, upasaka, upasika, Brahmin, brahmacharin, or a poor alms beggar. How can I get this person to know that the Tathagata receives offerings from him? O good man. This person might see, at night, a Buddha statue in a dream, or the forms of all devas, sramanas, kings, a Chakravartin, lion king, lotus flower, or Yudambara, or he might see a big mountain, a great stretch of sea water, the sun, or moon, a white elephant, a white horse, or the parents. He gains flowers or fruit, or such precious things as gold, silver, beryl, crystal, or the 5 kinds of cow product. Know that the Tathagata at such times receives what is offered to him. The person awakes, feels happy, and receives what he needs. He thinks no evil and practices good. O good man. This great nirvana thoroughly accomplishes such innumerable asamkhyas of all wonderful virtues. O good man. Believe now what I say. All good men and women desire to see me, to respect me, to see me in Dharmata, the essence of reality, to gain the void samadhi, to see the real nature, to practice the Surangama samadhi, Simharaja samadhi, and to destroy the 8 maras. By the 8 maras is meant the so-called 4 maras, and the non-eternal, non-bliss, non-self, and the non-pure. Any person who desires to be blessed with the bliss of heaven should go and befriend and associate with those who possess, copy, recite, explain to others, and meditate on the meaning of the great Nirvana Sutra, ask, make offerings, respect, praise, wash the hands and feet, set up the seat, have the four things well supplied, so that nothing is lacking. If such people come from far distant places, go 10 yojanas and receive them. Because of this sutra, give whatever is precious and welcome any such people. If one does not have any such things to offer, sell yourself. Why? Because it is hard to encounter the sutra, much harder than encountering the Yudambara. O good man! I recall to myself, innumerable, boundless nayotas of kalpas past, when there was a world called Saha, there was a Buddha world-honored one named Tathagata Shakyamuni. The alms-deserving, the all-enlightened one, the all-accomplished one, the well-gone, the all-knower, the unsurpassed one, the best trainer, the teacher of gods and humans, and the Buddha world-honored one. For the sake of all people, he delivered the sermon of the great Nirvana Sutra. I, at that time, heard from a good friend that Buddha would, for the sake of all people, deliver the sermon of the great Nirvana Sutra. On hearing this, joy welled up within me. I desired to make offerings, but I was so poor that I could not offer anything. So I went round, intending to sell myself. But I was so sterile in my fortune that I could not sell, i.e. could not find a buyer. I was on my way home, when I met a man. I said, I intend to sell myself. Will you not buy me? The man said, I don't have anyone at home who can stand the work. If you can, I shall certainly buy you. I asked, what is this work which no one can stand? The man replied, I have a bad disease. A good doctor tells me that I have to take 3 liangs, i.e. a Chinese unit of weight of human flesh a day. If you can supply me with 3 liangs of human flesh every day, I shall give you 5 gold coins. On hearing this, I greatly rejoiced and said, give me the money, and in addition 7 days. Having done what I desire to do, I shall come back and do what I must do. The man said, not 7, but 1 day, to be clear. O good man! I then took the money, went back, went to the Buddha, prostrate myself on the ground, offered 265 what I had and, later, with my whole heart, listened to the sutra. At that time I was dull. Though I heard the sutra, I could only uphold, i.e. remember, practice one gatha. The Tathagata enters nirvana and eternally cuts off birth and death. If one listens with a full heart, one will gain unending bliss. Having gained this gatha, I went to the house of the sick person. O good man! I then daily gave him 3 liangs of flesh. Because of the virtue of meditating on the gatha, I had no pain. Not a day did I fail to give my flesh, and a month passed. O good man! As a result of this, the disease was cured. I regained the former state of my body and had no wounds. With my body fully in order, I aspired to unsurpassed bodhi. The power of a single gatha is such. How much more would it have been if I had fully upheld and recited the sutra? Seeing such virtue in the sutra, my aspiration doubled and I pray that in days to come I shall attain bodhi and be called Shakyamuni. O good man! Due to this single gatha I am now with this congregation, fully addressing gods and men. O good man! Thus is this great Nirvana Sutra so utterly wonderful. It is perfect in countless virtues. This is none other than the all-wonderful, closely guarded store of all Buddhas. For this reason, anyone who uphold this well eliminates hateful defilements. What do I mean by evil? This is none but the evil elephant, the evil horse, the evil cow, the evil dog, and the land where venomous snakes live, the land of thorns, precipices, precipitous banks, rushing waters, whirlpools, evil people, evil lands, evil castles, evil houses, evil friends and others. If all such become the cause of defilement secretions, the Bodhisattva forsakes them. If not, he does not forsake them. If the secretions increase, he forsakes them, if not, he does not. If evil dharmas arise, he forsakes them. If any good dharmas arise, he does not forsake them. What is meant by forsaking? This means not possessing the sword or staff, but with right wisdom and means always forsaking such. This is having right wisdom and forsaking. To arrive at good dharma, one forsakes what is evil. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva meditates on his own self-ego and thinks that it is like an illness, the pox, a carbuncle, an enemy, the arrow that hits a man and gets into his body, that this is a great house of suffering, and that all are the roots of all good and evil. Although this body is so impure, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva carefully looks after and nourishes it. Why? It is not to begrudge one's own body, but to care for good dharma. This is for the sake of nirvana, not for birth and death. It is for the sake of the eternal bliss, the self, and the pure. It is not for the non-eternal, non-bliss, non-self, and the non-pure. It is for the sake of enlightenment, but not for its existence. It is for the one vehicle Akayana, not for the three vehicles Trayana. It is to gain the body of the 32 signs of perfection and the 80 minor marks of excellence, not for the body of thoughtlessness, non-thoughtlessness. It is for the sake of the king of the Dharma wheel, not for the body of a Chakravartin. O good man! The Bodhisattva Mahasattva should always guard his self. Why? If not, life will not be safe. If life is not whole, he cannot copy, uphold, recite, explain widely to others, and meditate on the signification of the sutra. For this reason, the Bodhisattva must protect his own self well. That is why the Bodhisattva can truly segregate his own self from all evil secretions. O good man! One who desires to cross water takes care of the ship or raft. One who is traveling well looks after good horses. The farmer who cares for his seedlings attends to dung and manure. To protect oneself from scorpion poison, one takes care of venomous serpents. For the safety of man and treasure, one keeps candelas. To overcome robbers, one employs strong soldiers. One protects the fire when cold bears down upon one, and a leprous patient seeks poisonous medicine. It is the same with the Bodhisattva. He knows that this body is full of impurities. But to uphold the great Nirvana Sutra, he thoroughly aids and protects his body, and does not allow its strength to diminish. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva sees both the evil elephant and the evil friend as one and not two. Why so? Because both destroy one's own self. The Bodhisattva never fears the evil elephant, but fears the evil friend. Why? The evil elephant 266 only harms the body, not the mind. The evil friend destroys both. The evil elephant destroys only one single body, but the evil friend destroys innumerable good bodies and innumerable good minds, i.e. good states of mind. The evil elephant only destroys the impure and foul-smelling body, but the friend who is bad destroys the pure body and the pure mind. This evil elephant only destroys this carnal body, but the friend who is bad destroys, i.e. makes one lose the Dharma body. Even when one is killed by an evil elephant, one does not fall into the three unfortunate realms. But when one is killed by a friend who is bad, one falls into the three unfortunate realms. The evil elephant is only the enemy of the carnal body, but the evil friend is the enemy of wonderful Dharma. For this reason, the Bodhisattva must always segregate himself from evil friends. The common mortal does not segregate himself from such secretions. So these secretions come about. As the Bodhisattva makes away with these, there is no secretion of defilement with him. Acting thus, there is no secretion with the Bodhisattva. How could there be with the Tathagata? For this reason, he does not secrete defilement. How do we come into the vicinity of the secretions? All common mortals receive clothing, food, bedding, and medicine. They receive all of these for the ease of body and mind. They do various evil things, do not know what is wrong, and advance towards the three unfortunate realms. Hence, we say that there is secretion. The Bodhisattva, since he sees, keeps himself away from such things. When a robe is offered, he receives it. He does this not for the body, but for Dharma. He has no arrogance. His mind is always in a surrendering mood. It is not for adornment, but out of a feeling of shame. It, i.e., the robe keeps out the cold and heat, bad wind, bad rain, bad worms, mosquitoes, gadflies, flies, fleas and scorpions. He receives food and drink. But there is no greed there. He does this not for himself, but for the good of Dharma, not for the carnal body, but for the good of all beings, not out of pride, but for physical strength, not out of malignancy or to harm others, but out of hunger and to cure the pox. He gains good food, but does not have a greedy mind. He might receive a house, but the same is the case. No defilement of greed ever dwells in his mind. For the sake of the house of enlightenment, he rejects the robber of defilement. In order to keep away bad winds and rain, he receives a house. One who receives does not have a greedy mind. This is only done for wonderful Dharma. It is not done for life, but for eternal life. O good man! A person suffering from the pox smears butter and roasted barley flour on it. For this reason, he covers it with his robe. As the pus and blood come out, he applies butter and roasted barley flour. To cure the pox, one employs medicine. To guard against evil winds, one lives deep inside a house. It is the same with the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. He sees the pox-like body, so he covers it with clothing. As things leak out from the 9 holes, i.e. the 9 outlets in the human body, he takes food and drink. On account of the bad wind and rain, he receives a house. When the 4 poisons appear, one seeks a doctor's medicine. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva receives the 4 kinds of offerings. This is for the sake of enlightenment, not life. Why? The Bodhisattva Mahasattva thinks, if I do not receive these 4 things, my body will wear out and will not be strong. If it is not strong enough, it cannot stand the suffering, and one cannot practice wonderful Dharma. If one can thoroughly bear down on the suffering, one can easily practice innumerable good things. If one cannot stand the suffering, anger raises its head as various sufferings press down upon one, and on encountering happiness, a mind of greed arises. One looks for happiness. If it does not come, ignorance raises its head. Because of this, the common mortal generates a secreting mind in the face of the 4 offerings. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva meditates well and does not engender any secretion. So, we say that the Bodhisattva does not secrete defilement. How could one say that the Tathagata is one who secretes? For this reason, we do not call the Tathagata one who secretes. Also, next, O good man! All common mortals protect their body and mind. Yet they have the 3 evil sensings. Thus, though they may well shake off defilements and gain the place of thoughtlessness non-thoughtlessness, they fall back and gain the three unfortunate realms. O good man! There is, for example, a man who desires to cross a great sea and who has almost reached the other shore, when he drowns and dies. So do things go with the common mortal. He means to cross the three worlds, but falls back into the three unfortunate realms. Why? Because 267 there is no good sensing with him. What is good sensing? It is none other than the six thinkings. The good mind of the common mortal is lowly, evil burns within him. When the good mind weakens, the mind of wisdom weakens. When the good mind is in a weak state, secretions increase. The sense organ of the eye of the Bodhisattva Mahasattva is pure, and it sees the evils of the three sensings. He knows that these three sensings possess variegated worries and that they always become for beings the enemies of the three vehicles. The workings of the three sensings bar an innumerable number of common mortals and beings from encountering the Buddha nature. For innumerable kalpas, they abide in an upside-down state of mind and say that the Buddha world-honored one has nothing of the eternal, bliss, and the self, but only pureness, and that the Tathagata enters nirvana for good. All beings have none of the eternal, bliss, self, and the pure. But with an upside-down mind, they say that they are the eternal, bliss, the self, and the pure. Truth to tell, they do not have three vehicles, but with their upside-down minds they say that there are the three vehicles. The way of one truth is true and is not false. Abiding in an upside-down state of mind, they say that there is no oneness of truth. These three evil sensings are always reproached by all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. These three sensings always harm oneself and also others. Around all these three sensings always foregather all evils in a train and become the three fetters which chain beings to birth and death. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva always views the three sensings thus. On occasion, the Bodhisattva has the sensing of desire, but is silent and does not respond. For example, this is like a person of right and pure mind who refuses all that is foul and impure. It is like a burning, hot iron ball, which no one can indeed grasp hold of. It is like the Brahmin, who will not eat beef, like a person who is well fed and who will not take bad food, or a Chakravartin who will not share his seat with a Kandala. Thus the Bodhisattva Mahasattva despises the three sensings and does not take what is impure. The case is thus. Why? The Bodhisattva thinks, all beings know me to be a good field of will. How can I receive this evil thing? If I gain an evil sensing, I cannot be a field of will to beings. I myself do not say that I am a good field of will. But beings see me and say that I am so. If I expose myself to a bad sensing, this will cheat beings. In days past I repeated birth and death over innumerable kalpas in the three unfortunate realms because of cheating. If I receive the offerings of the faithful with an evil mind, all devas and the rishis with the five divine powers will know and reproach me. If I receive the offerings of the faithful, when I myself have evil sensings, this will cut short or annul the recompense due to the one who gives. If I receive the offerings of a Dhanapati, I will purchase regret. Like a loving child, all Dhanapatis always look up to me. How can I cheat them and buy regret? Why? Because this annuls or makes small the recompense. Or one might always say that one has renounced home. Now, the Sramana must not do evil. If evil is done, there can be no priesthood. With no oneness, they are not Sramanas. I have left my parents, brothers, sisters, wife and child, relatives and teachers, and practiced Bodhi. When one practices all the sensings, there can be no occasion to practice the non-good sensings. For example, a person goes into the sea to gain gems. This is like picking up crystal instead of pearl, or throwing away all wonderful music, and playing in dung, or abandoning heavenly women to love menial servants, or abandoning a vessel of gold to take up an earthenware bowl, or abandoning ambrosia amrita and partaking of poison, or abandoning the familiar, old, wise, and good doctor, but accepting one who bears one ill will, or getting medicine and trying to cure oneself by one's own hand. The case is the same with me. Abandoning the ambrosial taste of Dharma of the great teacher, Tathagata world. Honored one, I partake of various evil sensings from Mara. It is hard to be born a human. This can be compared to the coming into bloom of the Udambara flower. But now I have gained it, i.e., the human state. It is hard to meet the Tathagata, but now I have met him. It is hard to see and hear the pristine treasure of Dharma, but I now hear it. This is like a blind tortoise chancing to hit the hole in a piece of floating wood. Life is much more fleeting than the rushing water of a mountain stream. One lives today, but one cannot be sure of the morrow. How can one abandon one's mind to what is wrong? The prime of life slips away as swiftly as a running horse. How can one depend on what is transient and be arrogant? It is like the situation where a devil sits in 268 weight of a man's performing wrong actions. It is the same with the devils of the four great elements. These always come and try to seek out some fault with one. How can one give occasion to evil sensings? For example, this is as in the case of a crumbling house which is about to fall down. Life, too, is the same. How can one do evil? I am a sramana. What a sramana does is awaken good. If I awaken to non-good, how can I be called a sramana? I am one who has renounced the world. The world-fleeing sramana is one who follows the path of good. Should I now perform evil, how could I be called a world-fleeing sramana? I am now a true Brahmin. A Brahmin is one who practices pure actions. If I now commit impure acts and evil sensings, how can I be called a Brahmin? I am of the great clan of the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas defeat the enemy. If I now fail to defeat the enemies of evil, how can I be worthy of the name of